It's Thursday, which means there's another episode of She-Hulk, which is always a great one. Just
That's
Jen
correct.
is the title for this one. Just Jen.
Yeah, just Jen.
Yeah. I saw a
She
couple
wasn't
of hot
just
takes.
Jen for a lot of this, though.
She was for a
Eh,
little bit of it.
eh,
Let's do.
I
So
guess.
I saw a couple hot takes online. So one person on the Twitter said that the show is back to normal. So like the last episode was kind of shaky, and this one's like good. And I saw another person shout it to DC Universe on Twitter. He said that this show was shaky and the rest of them were good. I think I fall. I think I feel like this show is better than was better than a lot of them. I think overall, I enjoy myself watching this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of different reasons why, but I want to know what your take was.
Well, she warns us that we're in a standalone wedding episode at an awkward time during the series.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think she's right about that.
But let's just step back.
But you do get your fights, like you comic book people. You always want to fight in every episode.
That was great.
So you got to fight in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a step back and what were you going to say?
Well, none of She-Hulk's episodes have really done it, like as far as like plot progression and moving the story forward. None of them have really done that. Really, like this show's so much different than every other Marvel show they've done that I don't think she had to have said that this is an awkward moment. Like all the shows are kind of awkward. Like I was actually watching this, and like I just kind of feel like even though Tatiana is doing a terrific job as an actor for this, I still don't know who Jennifer Walters really is. I'm still trying to figure her out.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly starting to get into it, but I don't really know the character as well as I have other characters like Moon Knight and Wanda. And like I guess we just had more time with some of them, but again, like it's weird for her to say this is a weird episode when like all of them have been kind of weird. But I will say this: where is Daredevil? They've been hyping him up in trailers over and over and over again. Every trailer, every week has Daredevil in it, and every episode you think this is going to be the Daredevil episode, and we don't get it. Like, what is going? I thought for sure this week was going to be the Daredevil episode. Like, what is going on?
They show us Daredevil's helmet last week.
Yeah,
there's no tag at the end of the episode. Clearly, that makes me think we're getting Daredevil next week.
Nope. Who knows what we're getting next week? I'm thinking it might be Daredevil next week, but who knows?
Yeah, but we've been thinking that for a while.
They're teasing it. And like to this point, it's almost comical. Like I kind of wish like she would turn to the screen and be like, well, no Daredevil this week. Sorry. You know, like,
right.
That would be really hilarious because she knows we're waiting on it. Like this is kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no Daredevil the entire season and they were just playing with us the whole time, but no, that's not true.
They gotta have him in at least one episode.
Mm-hmm. We did get some cool things though. We got the CGI for She-Hulk was exceptionally good. Like it's so inconsistent. Like this CGI looked great. Like it looked better than they have any other episode. Period. And I don't understand why can't they get it right every episode? I don't know.
I thought the first episode's CGI was pretty good.
First episode was good. Third episode was good. And this episode was good. The rest of them, it's like, it's just like shaky.
I've been seeing something on Twitter for a while, and I heard it in this episode for the first time ever. What's her name?
Tatiana, the actress?
Her friend.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She called Jen Shulky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a thing from the comics?
No. Well, I don't know. I've never heard it.
I've been seeing people talk about it on Twitter before, and I don't know. I guess it's got to be a thing from the comics. I don't know.
I've never heard it before. Yeah. At all. But I could be completely wrong on that. But I never heard it. I don't think it's a thing from the comics.
Probably like a comic run for She-Hulk that you haven't read or something like that.
Maybe. I haven't read a lot of She-Hulk, but Shulky, I've never heard Shulky before.
Yeah.
But could be. But I don't think so. There's other things from the comics that are in this episode.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mr. Immortal is directly from the comics. When I saw him, I was so excited. So Mr. Immortal is part of a team called, you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
The Great Lake Avengers.
What?
It's a team of misfit superheroes that decide they're Avengers and decide that they guard the Great Lakes. So it's a funny joke because
Wow. Okay.
but it's like the Avengers, the original Avengers team is based on the East Coast,
Yeah.
but then a team started on the West Coast called Avengers West Coast, and then eventually renamed them to be the West Coast Avengers.
Right.
So, but this is comically a team calls themselves the Great Lakes Avengers, which is really really funny. And
Okay.
and when the Thunderbolt series became popular, they renamed themselves the Lightning Rods, which is again pretty hilarious.
Interesting.
But like, yeah, they're supposed to be funny characters, like they're supposed to be joke characters.
So
Like,
he was funny. He was a joke character in here, but I have a
yeah,
feeling in the comics this isn't Mr. Immortal's usual stick.
no, no, not at all. He doesn't have a bunch of wives. He actually falls in love with a dinosaur type humanoid character, which is hilarious.
Okay.
But no, but I do think it's super funny and super fun that they took a really obscure character and kind of elevated him up. I like that a lot. I also find it really interesting how She-Hulk is developing this universe where a lot of people have superpowers and we don't know how they got
Yeah.
them. And so we don't know Mr.
Mutants.
Well, we don't know that. It could be. I don't think I think Mr. Immortal is a mutant, but they haven't used the word mutant. We
Right.
all know that the first hint of mutant abilities was from Ms. Marvel in the MCU. But She-Hulk is not shying away from the idea that there's just superpowered people hanging out. Like we haven't like Titania, we have no idea how she got her powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And other MCU properties have painstakingly tried to explain everyone's powers. But they haven't.
Right.
She-Hulk has
Right.
said, "Nah, whatever, who cares?" And so it's like kind of it's like a lot of fun to see them sort of mess around with the the sandbox a little bit. It's been kind of fun to watch that.
Speak.
Hopefully, hang on, but hopefully, I hope we don't. Hopefully, this is the last time we see Mr. Immortal. I liked seeing him, and I
Yeah.
would love to see him and more characters from the Great Lake Avengers show up. I think that would be awesome and a lot of fun.
That actor is good, but I always think he's some other actor.
Yeah, what's his name?
David Pascasi?
Yeah, he did a really good job at Mr. Immortal, and I love the interaction between him and the lawyer and the aide. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job. I thought that was just fun to watch. Like it was like good back and forth, pretty funny. Like everybody, like we got good character development. Like at this point in the show, we're starting to get really comfortable with all these characters. We're starting to like them. We're enjoying being around them. And it sucks because the show's about to end. We only have 3 more episodes left. So yeah.
Did they get Mr. Immortal's powers pretty right? Like, is that?
Yeah, he's immortal. Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't, and he doesn't really have much other than that.
No, he's just immortal.
Okay.
If he gets hurt, he just heals. Yeah,
Right.
pretty fun.
Cool. What about the Intelligencia website?
Okay, so when I first saw this, I remembered it because it's a long story and it's very convoluted. But there's a being that controls or monitors or guides the scrolls, the alien scrolls, called the Intellectia, something like that. And I thought that was it. That was the reference. But no, this reference is a reference to a relatively new supervillain group that was formed around 2006 or 7, I believe. And it's called the Intelligencia.
Intelligencia
Yeah, there you go.
is a
I don't know
super
much.
villain group.
Yeah, it's a supervillain group. So it's a group of supervillains. Yeah. I think Doctor Doom was involved. Let me see if I can get the list of supervillains. Members, we've got Mordock, and that's it. That's all. Oh, wait. It has to be more than that. I guess there's a lot of characters. Okay. Awesome Android, Chameleon, Doctor Doom, Egghead, Claw, Leader, Mad Thinker,
Leader.
Mordock.
Dr.
Yeah,
Doom.
the leader's in this. Red Ghost, Super Apes, Trapster, and Wizard. So yeah, so I recognize all these characters, but the leader was part of this, so that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, some more clues about the leader being.
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
different reference that I think that we are definitely going to see the leader at the end of this. I mean, it's almost impossible at this point.
Yeah, and we've already heard news reports that the leader will be in. He's going to be, I guess, the main villain for the new Captain America movie.
Yes, and Anthony Mackie, who plays Captain America, of course, now, he made a reference to She-Hulk and said that he was happy that She-Hulk was doing things differently. So that might be. When I read that, I was like, why would Anthony Mackie even be watching this or being tuned? And so now I started thinking, what if Anthony Mackie shows up later in She-Hulk? That would be awesome. I'm not saying that could happen, but I
Could.
know it really could. Like there was supposed to be there was a couple interviews with the directors and stuff that said there was other guest stars that we don't know about that was supposed to show up.
Yeah.
Like just the idea that we leader might show up or probably will show up at the end of this.
Right.
Anthony Mackie saying something about the show. I mean, I hate to kind of get people's hopes up, but it could be that Anthony Mackie shows up. That would be actually pretty rad for him to show up at the end of this. It'd be a big surprise. And we haven't seen him in a while as Captain America either. So,
right.
Yeah, all that stuff put together could be pretty awesome. I'm crossing my fingers hard for that.
There's not a whole lot of like comic book type stuff to ask you about in this episode, but we see Titania again, and I don't know. She's showing up a lot in this episode, in this series. What does she do in the comics? Like, is she's
just a regular old supervillain that, like, Titania represents. So, like, if you have a She-Hulk, then typically they want like a female supervillain so that the two can beat each other up. Like you don't the visuals of a big man punching a woman, even as massive as She-Hulk, just looks weird. But to have Titania do it, it's like, okay. And so there's a lot of generic supervillains like that kind of show up. So no, the comics never had Titania as someone worth even talking about. So it's pretty cool that they elevated her. And that was a good moment with her too, when in the super fight, when she fell on her face, she like busted up her veneers, and so she looked real funny.
Yeah.
But there was a very vulnerable side to her. Like she was being videotaped and recorded,
right?
And like she felt exposed. So I like the fact that the show gave her a vulnerability, like a softness. And hopefully that's not the last time we see her. I think, who's the actress that plays her? She's a big name person.
Jamila Jamil.
Yeah, I think she does a great job. What is she famous?
She was in The Good Place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I thought she was a singer or something, but no, okay. All right.
She may be a model? I don't know.
We're getting to the age, Mike. We don't know all these people.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Who is this person? Oh, yeah, she's fun. Okay, good. But hopefully
the
that's not the last
actress that played the bride in this episode was pretty good.
Yeah.
She did a really good job of, like, when She-Hulk first shows up and everybody's like all crazy about She-Hulk, and she does a really good job of like her facial expressions showing that she's trying not to let everybody see how upset she is that She-Hulk's here.
Yeah.
But she is clearly upset. Did a really good job with that.
And the idea that Jennifer Walters go walk down the aisle with a dog, that was pretty good.
That dog, man. Oh my goodness. Did you hear they said that they resuscitated him this morning?
Yeah. That's great. There's a lot of great little one-liners.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of great little one-liners here and there throughout the show. That's really funny. And then, of course, like Jennifer Walters gets drunk. It's a cash-only bar, which is a cash-only bar at a wedding is completely ridiculous, and I think should be completely illegal.
Especially when you're like renting out a place like that, right?
Yeah, if you invite people to an establishment, then you should give them free booze. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
We never saw who that woman Lulu was marrying, did we? We
didn't. And I thought that was interesting. You never ever see the groom.
Or the bride or whoever. We don't know who she's marrying, and we never see it.
Oh, so. Well, yeah. Well, no, they were asking, are you with the bride or with the groom?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one guy did. The new guy, Josh, the new love interest.
So Josh is clearly working for the leader. or
oh, come on,
whoever the wrecking crew is.
Come on,
right?
Come on. I don't know that. No, I'm not going.
Well, so they are somehow observing Jennifer Walters and Josh eating French fries.
But like
in their lab, how are they doing that?
Anybody could be doing that. She's like always on TV that has tons of cell phones. Anybody could be spying on them.
It's like a security camera for this place.
Yeah,
Josh was absent for a while, supposedly helping Lulu, but he also could have been tapping into the security cameras, putting listening or cameras around. You know.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want him.
I mean, I don't want it either. But I think for sure Josh is he's a spy. He's trying to get her blood.
I don't like that.
I mean, I don't either. But I think that's gonna be.
That's so depressing.
It is so. Can you imagine you're Jennifer Walters and like now
you finally found out
you can't be with normal men.
Yeah,
you can't trust them.
Well, are men normal? What's normal exactly?
So like,
I don't know.
So like, maybe when Daredevil comes up, she's like, you know what? I've got to be with superhero men. I can't be with normal.
Okay,
I can't trust their motives.
That's crazy. No, okay. I don't.
Josh is clearly working for the leader or whoever.
Well, okay.
Whoever's trying to get her blood, he's one of their agents.
Is this written down somewhere? Because you're making a very strong prediction here, and so we need to remember this prediction.
I'm just connecting the dots.
How much you want to make a bet?
Well, you come up with the stakes. I'll
$5.
Is there something else we can do other than like $5? Like
no, that's it. Money.
All right, fine.
Well, what else would you do?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Okay. How much is your Disney Plus subscription?
I don't know. You want to pay for a month?
Yes.
Okay.
So mine is $8. So $8. So you have to give me $8 if you are correct, and we'll know that in a few episodes.
Okay.
I will forget this bet because I always do. But I need to write it down.
I will. We'll remember.
Okay. All right.
Loser pays for the winner's Disney Plus for a month.
There you go. Awesome. I already have Disney Plus far longer than I thought I would.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I was for sure like, I'm just gonna subscribe and then cancel, but no, you can't. They've got so much on there.
I mean, as a side note, just to be able to put my feet up and put any Marvel superhero movie or Star Wars movie on at any time I want is pretty stupid. Like, imagine your 15-year-old self if they had Disney Plus like we have it right now. You never leave the house. I don't know how these kids do it. I don't know how
they don't. They don't leave the house.
Yeah, why would you? That's funny. So
you weren't suspecting Josh?
I didn't until you said something. And again, here's why it's problematic for me. Okay, what your idea would fit the show. The idea that she keeps trying to find love or try to find the normality, and she can't keep doing it. Like every time she tries to find a normal place in her life, she can't find it. Even at a wedding, when someone says you have to be normal, she can't do it.
Right.
And so that might be something that the show might keep saying, like you can't have a normal life. You can't have a normal life. So yeah, that could be what we're facing here. I hope not, but it could be.
So what were you thinking when there's like the pullback and we see that they're on video and they're in a lab?
Thought they were being spied on. I didn't think that Josh would be a part of that.
Okay.
Can we talk a little bit? We kind of dodged this pretty hard. Can we talk about how the show is kind of going straight at the idea of these incel weird basement boy things? Because I really enjoy that. I'm all about it. Like the idea that they have this
all
website called
that they show.
And like this is really happening. Like there are websites where young men are just going at and saying, "I hate women. Women suck. I want to murder this person." Blah blah blah. Like I'm glad. Like She-Hulk. No, like as far as the design of the show is for that angle, like. It's just kind of showing the disgustingness of it. And like, if you are one of these basement boys looking at this show, how are you going to critique their critique of you? How are you going to defend their critique of you?
Right.
Defend that. Defend how disgusting you are. Defend how truly stupid you are, right? And the show's like daring that to happen. And that conversation is not being, I guess I'm noticing it, maybe other people notice it, but I just want to shout out the show for doing this. This is a serious problem because every time there is a female lead for a show, any superhero show or Marvel show, they get attacked and abused. The actresses get attacked and abused, and it's just to the point now where it's just it needed to stop a long time ago. But I think it needs to be addressed. And I like the idea that Disney's like, we don't care what you guys are saying because you guys are dumb and you have sad lives and we wish you could be loved. And it's sad that you're not loved, right? So shout out to Disney, shout out to the producers, shout out to the showrunners for making that decision. It's a good decision.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is like this, they're not putting it in these episodes in a reaction to what's happening with the show. This was part of the original script.
Mm-hmm.
And it was predictable. So easy to predict that this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what truly like undercuts any kind of an argument these people have.
The show has
so predictable.
Yeah, the show has an interesting thread about social media, like Titania becoming feeling exposed and vulnerable when she's on social media, and then how the show talks about how this Intelligencia website, or however you pronounce it, is part of the media. I think it's all that put together is pretty good. We'll have to see how they finish it up, but I like what they're doing so far.
Yeah,
I mean, how can you? I mean, I know the internet's the internet, but I couldn't imagine like posting something like that on the internet, like blah blah blah. Like the worst thing I've ever done on the internet is I'm a Michigan fan, and I said something bad on the Ohio State Reddit, and I got banned from Ohio State Reddit. That's the only thing that's ever happened to me. I actually am pretty proud of it, but it is what it is. But I couldn't imagine like calling for someone's death on the internet. You know, like it's just odd. It's just odd
for no reason.
It's definitely a crisis of our society that these people just do that. And then what? Did they cry? Do they sit there and stare at the wall?
The problem is they used to all be isolated, and now they can find a community on the internet. That's the big problem.
We need to do something about it. We need to fix it. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on.
I'm ready for news that needs to be abused.
Okay. All right. Well, we have some news that can be abused.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, we are definitely getting a Miss Marvel season 2. 100%. No doubt. Pretty awesome.
It's if not the best, it's like second best Disney Plus Marvel.
What's the best?
Loki or Miss Marvel?
Interesting.
Who do you have tied for best with Miss Marvel?
We gotta do a show for this. We should do a show for this. WandaVision, I feel like, is always going to have its place. So we'll do a show where we rate these at some point. But yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm excited. I will watch a Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I think we'll have to after the new Black Panther movie. That's going to be the time because that's the end of this phase of the MCU. So
yeah, we'll do a big old wrap up. It'll be fun. Yeah. But I'm excited for Miss Marvel season 2. It will definitely happen after the Marvels movie, which I predict is going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge hit. Everybody who loved Miss Marvel is going to go see that movie, and it's going to be phenomenal. Plus the people who loved WandaVision, plus the people who saw Captain Marvel, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
This is just a rumor, Mike, but the rumor is, and the reason why I posted this is we had rumors about Daredevil. And those rumors came true. So there's a rumor that The Punisher might have a new Disney Plus show. The Punisher. Did you watch the other ones?
The Punisher?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
How many seasons was it?
I don't really know. I think like maybe 2 seasons.
So let me ask you a question. Do you just sit on the couch and like watch TV? Like you just start this up and just stare at it and you don't remember how many seasons you watched?
I mean, it's been a while since I've watched The Punisher. It's been years.
I loved him in Daredevil season 2. I thought he was fantastic. I loved the fight scenes; they were so brutal. They spent a lot of time on him, and I thought it was real. It was time well spent.
That actor is so charismatic. I'll watch him in anything.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
Yeah,
you know, You know what he's playing next? He's being Carrie's Mac, right? You know what his next show is right now?
No, what's that?
American Gigolo. That's his show right now.
Oh, okay.
He is very charismatic, Mike. You're right.
He played. There was something that I watched recently. I can't remember the name of the show, but he played a corrupt cop. And I mean, you hate the corrupt cop, but he's still so charismatic playing this corrupt cop that it's just, you know, he's great.
He's a great actor. Great actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm psyched. I'm psyched for more Punisher. I think we need more Punisher. And I think Punisher needs to really drive home, not in a subversive way, in a very like over the top, hitting people over the head with it. What the Punisher is really about, so that people stop abusing his logo.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the guys who have those little Punisher on their trucks, all through North Carolina, you know. So, yeah, if you're in North Carolina, you're going to see that. And yeah, it is kind of. I mean, it's not what the Punisher. The idea of the Punisher has always been controversial, though. Even when I was a kid, the character has always been kind of controversial. But I do think that the reason why it's controversial is like he murders supervillains or murders villains. Yeah, so I mean, I'm curious to see what Disney would do. We haven't heard anything about the mature line. We haven't seen any of that. We already talked about how Daredevil's going to have to be mature in order to work. I guess we've got to wait till Echo comes out before you really understand it.
Yeah, I mean, Punisher will have to be the same thing. It'll have to be TVMA, or it won't work. Yeah.
Last but not least, and this is kind of news you can't abuse, but this is on Twitter. Apparently, there was a stunt fight scene that was in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness that didn't make the cut. So there's a rough stunt, like mock-up of the fight between Wanda and some sorcerer warriors. And I don't know why it didn't make it into the movie. Mike, did you watch this?
It looks really good. It's a great scene.
Oh my, I watched it 10 times straight. It's like so good. So I'm going to describe it to the audience. Wanda is doing hand-to-hand combat with her magic. So she's taking. So these guys have swords.
This probably would have happened when she was attacking Kamar-Taj, right?
Yes, absolutely. So remember the time when she landed on Kamar-Taj and like this one body turned to ash and then she walked into the building? This fight will have happened as she's walking. So she's using her powers. She's using her powers to take possession of people's swords. She cut a guy's head off. Then animated the dead body with no head, and then used it to fight another dude. Then she like does some crazy stuff, and then she takes a person's head and cracks it with her magic, and turns around and then takes a body and turns it into a cube with her hands. It's silly good. Disney Plus, Disney, Marvel, whoever decides this can't be in the movie, you guys are soft. Soft. You're soft. If I would have seen that, I would have loved the movie 10 times more. That fight scene was awesome. It was over the top. It did not have to happen. I'm sure when they saw it, they were like, we can't put this in a movie. We can't do this. But I'm sure someone was like, please. So the fact that this got leaked or this is out there on the internet now is awesome. This is so good. So good. So good.
How long was that movie? It was a pretty long movie, wasn't it?
Like 2.5. Okay, I know what you're going to say. They had to cut because of time, right?
Yeah, and it's like you don't have to have it to tell the story. It's a great scene, but it's not essential to the plot.
You remember that scene where Doctor Strange jumps and grabs American Chavez and they go through the multiverse a bunch of times and they go through different worlds?
Yeah.
They could have cut that by 10 seconds or 5 seconds and cut a couple different places throughout the movie and had time and room for this fight scene.
Well, that's true.
Like that fight scene. And I also think when I was looking at it, I thought they already have an over-the-top fight scene and it's with the Illuminati. So they probably thought, we have 2 over-the-top fight scenes. We don't need both of them.
Right.
But you're wrong. You do. Okay, so...
Yeah, maybe they'll... I don't know. Maybe they'll eventually add this in.
Well, okay, everybody, we need to do a GoFundMe. Let's start raising money.
What's the hashtag?
I don't know, Wanda fight or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, Wanda head explode. How about that? Or something like that. Let's raise money to get Elizabeth Olsen to go to Disney and spend a weekend so they can do this up and then reissue Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and put it out in theaters so we can all go and see this live with Elizabeth Olsen doing the fight scene. Make it happen. It's so good. Please.
Release the Wanda fight cut.
Oh, I love that. Let's start putting the hashtag out there, Mike. You're on Twitter all the time. Let's do it. Let's start it.
Yeah,
that's good. Yes, it won't happen, of course.
People, that's a good fight scene, though. Yeah,
I mean, come on,
would have been nice.
I don't know. It would have been great. Anyway, that's it for this week, everyone. She-Hulk episode 6, just chin. Next episode, we have no idea. It could be Daredevil. It could be not. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe Daredevil finally shows up, or maybe we get the reveal of the leader.
Here's my prediction, Mike. Daredevil is not going to show up next week.
Yeah, we got 3 more episodes. What's going to happen?
He's going to show up the week after next.
Yeah,
the second to last episode.
You're probably right.
Yeah, he's not going to show up next episode. I'll be very surprised.
Next episode, we find out whether Josh is a good guy or not. I think that's what happens next episode.
Next episode, there's going to be some weird scenes where Jen wonders why people don't like her but like She-Hulk. That's my prediction.
Yeah. That'll probably happen too. And it might happen when she finds out that Josh is actually working for somebody.
We gotta wait and see. So Mike, we do have the link to the Wanda fight scene in our show notes. Let's say if someone's listening to this and they want to share our show so people can see the fight scene, because that's the only way to see it. You can't see it anywhere else. You can't Google it. Don't go to Twitter. You have to go to our show notes.
Yeah, look at our show notes, and then
that's the only place to see it. That's it. How could someone share the awesome fight scene?
Hit the share button right now and share it with all your friends. Mm-hmm. They need to see this fight scene, and there's no other way they can see it.
That's it.
You got to share the show notes.
Yeah, it's the only way. Like, your friends will be like, "Hey, I heard there's a cool fight scene," and they're like, "I don't know. I can't show it any other way." Like, every time I Google it, nothing comes up. But I do know that there's a link in the show notes for Super Sideshow. These 2 guys do it, and it's a great show. Here, I'm going to send it to you. And like, okay, I might as well listen to the show, because I might as well just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, they talk about it too. So you'll want to hear that after you watch it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
More She-Hulk next week.